Hey, Vsauce! Michael here. In 2003, researchers did the measurements and found that Kansas is, in fact, literally flatter than a pancake. Of course, the Earth is not flat, the Earth is round. Otherwise, travelers would be falling off the edge all the time. Right? Wrong.
Yes, in fact, that is wrong. It is a common misconception that when people first hear the words flat Earth, they automatically assume that there is an edge in which one can fall off of. This is in fact false, and literally zero flat earthers believe in an edge to begin with. Most flat earthers believe there is an ice wall or some sort of barrier which holds the oceans inward. Most flat earthers believe that this is Antarctica, which surrounds the flat Earth 360 degrees around. Thus, this is the reason the Antarctic Treaty was formed, which restricts the public from freely exploring Antarctica. So while the USA, Russia, and China may appear to be enemies, they can all somehow agree to shake hands and join together in an effort to protect Antarctica for quote-unquote scientific research purposes. And oddly enough, the United Nations uses a flat Earth map as their logo. Can you see Antarctica on this map? Yeah, exactly. Furthermore, if one were to explore what could be beyond Antarctica, one might find the existence of a barrier, dome, or firmament. If we were indeed in an enclosed system, there would physically be no edge in which to fall off of. And an even more interesting possibility would be the existence of more land or other worlds beyond Antarctica. The possibility does in fact exist that the Earth is an infinite plane, and thus an end or edge simply does not exist. So, to assume that the Earth has an edge is like assuming that outer space has an edge. So whenever anyone says to me, "Hey Jake, where's the edge of the flat Earth?" I like to look at them and say, "Hey, where's the edge to outer space?"
If the Earth was not a ball shape, but was instead a flat disk, like this plate, well, with the right density and thickness, living in the middle could feel pretty normal. But as you moved toward the edge, gravity on a disk Earth would slightly skew, pushing at a greater and greater angle back toward the center. My friend Nick from Yeti Dynamics put together this great simulation. The person and buildings obviously aren't to scale, but check out how such increasingly diagonal gravity would work. Although this is a flat disk, it would feel to a runner headed toward the edge like they were fighting to climb up a steeper and steeper hill. The building foundations behind the runner reflect how you would have to build structures closer and closer to the edge so that people living in them always felt like down was at right angles to the floor, the way we feel it on our big round Earth. Now, as you approach the edge, things would get scary. Remember, this is a flat Earth, but it would feel like a sheer drop-off. What's really cool is that contrary to the don't fall off the edge fear, on a flat world, because of gravity, the scary risk would actually be falling away from the edge and rolling all the way back to the center. Once you stepped over the edge, instead of falling off into space, you'd be able to relax. It would be a nice, level place. This model, of course, neglects the fact that such a planet shape would be impossible.
Yeah, not only is it impossible, but it's completely ridiculous. Literally zero flat earthers believe in gravity to begin with. And literally zero flat earthers believe that the Earth is some disk floating around in outer space. The concept of outer space is fictitious to begin with. And if we were to go above the Earth, 121,000 feet high, you can clearly see that the horizon is flat. Yes, that's right, the horizon is always flat, as in horizontal, horiz, horizontal, horizon. They don't call it the curvizon, do they?
Anything as massive as the Earth, shaped like a flat disk, would, under its own gravity, naturally collapse back into a ball.
Anything as massive as the Earth, shaped like a flat disk, would, under its own gravity, naturally collapse back into a ball.
Let me get this straight. If the Earth were flat, due to its own gravity, it would collapse into a ball? I've never heard of a flat object, flat, collapsing into a ball. Have you? Hey, did you see that flat basketball? Yeah, it collapsed and it filled up with air. I think for a flat object to turn into a ball, it would actually have to inflate. I've never heard of it being flat and then it collapsed and turned into a ball. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Flat collapse into a ball? Nah. Ball collapses and turns flat. Get your shit straight, Vsauce. Come on, dude.
This is why in outer space, everything more than a few hundred miles in diameter is round. Or so we've been told. What if gravity isn't real? What if gravity isn't real?
What if gravity isn't real?
What if gravity isn't real?
What if the Earth is in fact flat and science has been wrong all along?
Isn't flat. And by the way, this is called gravity.
Sorry, Mr. Tyson, but you are flat out wrong. The fact the microphone left your hand and fell back to the earth is a product of its weight and density. The microphone is more dense than the air in which surrounds it, so therefore it fell back to the earth. Much like if you were to jump off of a building, you would fall to the earth because your body weight is more dense than the air in which surrounds it. At the same time, you can take a tiny magnet and overpower this magical, mythological force of gravity. You see all these metal objects that should be falling towards the center of the earth? They're actually being overpowered by a tiny magnet. So the same force of gravity, which holds trillions of gallons of water stuck to a spinning ball, are simply overpowered by a tiny magnet. And at the same time, if you fill a balloon with helium, it will rise. It will overpower the forces of gravity. This is due to buoyancy. Because the helium in the balloon is lighter in which the air that surrounds it, it then rises. The helium can overpower the weight of the balloon itself and rise. If you were to drop a balloon without any helium in it, it would fall back to the earth. But once you put helium into the balloon, its contents are lighter than the air in which surrounds it, and it can then overpower the weight of the balloon and cause it to rise. The fact that something falls and the fact that something rises is due to density and buoyancy, and nothing else. It is actually very simple. Whereas gravity causes objects to fall towards its supposed center of the earth. The fact that the center of the earth has never been proven causes the entire concept of gravity to fall apart, as the deepest any humans have ever dug down is in fact only 8 miles deep. Being we have only dug down 8 miles deep, we have never reached any theoretical core, and therefore the core is just that, simply a theory. Thus, if the molten core has never been proven to exist, then that means the center of the earth has also not been proven to exist. If the concept of gravity is constructed around a supposed attraction toward the unproven center of the earth, then that means the entire concept of gravity itself is baseless and purely hypothetical.
It's a misconception that Christopher Columbus discovered that the Earth is round. Virtually every scholar and major religion in the West accepted Earth's rotundity since at least the time of the ancient Greeks, who, for instance, had noticed that boats disappear bottom first when sailing away, and as you walk north and south, stars pop into and out of view.
Oh boy, here we go again with the old boats on the horizon argument. You know, this is actually one of the easiest quote-unquote proofs to debunk. Yeah, all you have to do is go to the beach, Watch a boat disappear from your eye, and then pull out your telescope, your binoculars, or your high-powered zoom camera, and you can pull the entire boat back into view, whole mass and all. That's because boats don't disappear over curvature. Boats disappear due to perspective. See this boat? See the buoy? Watch, when you zoom out, they'll completely disappear. Whoop! Gone. And if you were to reverse that process and zoom back in on it, they would reappear. That's because they're not over the curvature of the Earth. Once again, you zoom in on the boat after it disappears from your eye, and it comes all the way back into view. And then zip away from your view, zoom out, and there it goes. Goodbye, little boat. Goodbye. And as for seeing stars in different places, well, on a flat Earth, this makes perfect sense. Here's North America, and here's Australia. Yeah, we see different stars. On a flat Earth, we see different stars in 2 different continents, and on a globe, you see different stars in different continents. Hello!
The misconception that only a few hundred years ago lots and lots of people believed the Earth was flat likely began in the modern era as a sort of insult. Well, your people recently thought the Earth was flat, so why should we believe you now? The smear was repeated and published so often it became accepted as historical fact. Flat earther became synonymous with anti-science. It might seem flat over short distances, but over longer ones, well, the Earth is pretty darn curvy. The Verrazano Narrows Bridge, connecting Staten Island and Brooklyn, had to be designed with Earth's roundness in mind. Its 2 towers, separated by 1,300 meters and perfectly vertical, are nonetheless 41 millimeters further apart at the top than at the bottom because of Earth's curvature.
The argument is not whether the bridge is curved. The argument is whether the Earth is curved. We can indeed build a bridge with curvature. However, the water underneath the bridge will naturally find and maintain its level. If we were to draw a straight line from one side of the bridge to the other, we can clearly see that the water underneath the bridge is 100% flat and level. However, the bridge is indeed curved. This just proves you can build a bridge with curvature, but the water underneath the bridge is indeed 100% flat.
In the 3rd century BC, Eratosthenes measured the differences between shadows cast by poles in Syene and Alexandria to calculate, more than 2,000 years before rockets and space travel, the circumference of the entire globular Earth, with, for the time, impressive accuracy. Word got around that the Earth was a round shape after that. But in 1906, Wilbur Glenn Villava became head of a slightly bizarre religious sect that pretty much ran the city of Zion, Illinois. Villava believed that the Earth was actually flat, and he enforced flat Earth teachings in schools in Zion. He also enforced that belief on really anyone who entered the city. Villava believed not only that the Earth was flat, but that the sun was only a few thousand miles away from Earth, not 93 million. He also believed that the sun was only 32 miles across, not 860,000. He sounds crazy. Or does he? You see, the same phenomenon Eratosthenes measured could be explained by a flat Earth if the sun were only a few thousand miles away and 32 miles across. The math would work out the same. Today, with the power of the internet, modern-day flat earthers have picked up where Villava left off. They have quite good explanations for any evidence you throw at them that the Earth is round. Circumnavigation is really just a flat circle path. The round shadow Earth casts on the moon during a lunar eclipse could also be made by a flat disk. Time zones are caused by a spotlight sun. And remember how gravity would be totally different on a disk-shaped planet? Well, they argue that gravity as we know it simply doesn't exist. The flat disk of Earth is merely accelerating up at 9.8 meters per second.
Whoa! Hold up. Time out. Wait a minute. Penalty flag on the field. Vsauce. Bro, literally 0 flat earthers believe that the earth is accelerating upward. I know I've been using absolutes in this video, but I'm telling you, literally 0 flat earthers believe that the earth is accelerating upward. I've already explained, gravity isn't real and the earth isn't moving. The fact that Vsauce even brought this up just shows that he's a disinfo agent or he's a complete sheeple. The Flat Earth Society is a controlled opposition group used to make the Flat Earth concept look like it's completely insane. So what they do is they mix truth with disinformation. That's right, they mix the truth in with not truth to make the whole thing look crazy. It's very similar to what Alex Jones does. Alex Jones will tell you the truth on some subjects, but he'll completely lie to you on others. He's a disinfo agent, and that's exactly what the Flat Earth Society is. It's a disinfo organization, and that's exactly why Vsauce has brought them up, to steer you away from the Flat Earth truth.
As for all of the photos and video evidence we now have that the Earth is round thanks to space exploration, well, all of that material is completely fabricated. A hoax perpetrated by Big Globe. Space agencies, airlines, globe manufacturers, they are reaping the rewards of our ignorant belief that the Earth is actually round. They know, of course, that it's flat, and they're hiding that truth from us. Is it merely a coincidence that the logo used by the Flat Earth Society is a projection of Earth centered on the North Pole and also happens to be the projection used by the United Nations? Are these people for real? It is ball-shaped to some observers and flat to others. There doesn't appear to be a single most correctest in all circumstances answer. Susan Hack compares knowledge to a crossword puzzle. New answers interweave with old ones. They all reinforce one another. The clues are the questions we ask, and the way the answers fall into a predetermined grid, well, that's our confidence that we're on the right track. But that doesn't mean that one day there will be a finished puzzle, a complete answer. Our knowledge about the outside world might be the same. A puzzle with no answer key, just the reassurance that the answers we think we know fit together, so they're probably correct, though there's always the possibility that the answer to one clue or all of them will fundamentally not have a single definite satisfying answer. The puzzle may be playable forever. I like what Richard Feynman says about this. Some people say, how can you live without knowing? I do not know what they mean. I always live without knowing. That is easy. How you get to know is what I want to know. You know? And as always, thanks for watching. It is a three-dimensional spheroid. However, I don't know that, and it has not been proven. Science doesn't prove anything. I don't know that, and it has not been proven. Science doesn't prove anything.